The truth about diversity and the terrifying reason the commie left is pushing it. I mean, I've already alluded to the reason why they pushing it in several other videos, but we're gonna do a little bit of a deeper dive here into the rationale behind this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Anything being pushed by globalists, especially evil commie clowns at the World Economic Forum, requires a closer look. So I thought I'd look into their dedication to diversity, equity, and inclusion, or otherwise known as DEI, which they've been hell-bent on gouging down our throats. The commies like to wrap their tyranny in virtue. An example is the transgender narrative. We are all expected to agree that a man can don panties, thus he is a she, and anyone who differs is labeled a bigot and may actually be fired. So why does the left push this cod swallow? I believe the Marxists know a man cannot be a woman, but have realized that if they make the people believe a man is a woman, they control and, in a weird way, own those people. Another example is the surge of illegal immigrants pouring over the border. The left claims they are allowing it for virtuous reasons, but in reality, the globalists are trying to crush our nation with millions of people we can't possibly help. I mean, there's no way we can have open borders and allow anyone into this country and still be considered a sovereign nation. I mean, it will crumble. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon a study from the 2000s by a political science professor from Harvard named Robert Putnam. Putnam, a liberal, has spent much of his career studying the reality of diversity. What he has found again and again doesn't bode well for the apparatchik snowflakes and periphery preaching the supposed benefit of all things DEI. We've been led to believe that our differences are our strengths, but Putnam's findings tell us quite the opposite. He interviewed 30,000 people, and the results are staggering. It is wild. Putnam found that people in diverse communities were less likely to vote, donate to charity, or become involved in civic and or group activities like bowling leagues. They were less likely to volunteer and work with others on community projects. In other words, people living in larger, diverse communities are less likely to band together, even for purposes of entertainment. That means they are less likely to work together. Importantly, they are less happy and have fewer friends. They spend more time watching TV and are more likely to consider their television as their best source of entertainment. Putnam's groundbreaking work shows that people living in diverse communities are also less likely to trust people, including their own friends. Diversity does not produce bad race relations or ethnically defined group hostility, our findings suggest. He goes on to say, rather, inhabitants of diverse communities tend to withdraw from collective life, to distrust their neighbors, regardless of the color of their skin, to withdraw even from close friends, to expect the worst from their community and its leaders, to volunteer less, give less to charity, and work on community projects less often, to register to vote less, to agitate for social reform more, but have less faith that they can actually make a difference, and to huddle unhappily in front of the television. Note that this pattern encompasses attitudes and behavior, bridging and bonding social capital, public and private connections. Diversity, at least in the short run, seemed to bring out the turtle in all of us. And that was from Putnam. I mean, this is why they're pushing this, because they want you to not be part of the community. But then why is the left pushing an agenda that leaves the population demoralized, withdrawn, untrusting of one another, and less likely to become involved in their community? Because it makes us less likely to band together. And that is exactly what the globalists want. Globalists want us. They don't want you to band together, because if they know if we band together, we are more stronger. It's more of us than it is of them. And if we band together, we can kick all of the globalists out. So that's why they're pushing this DEI, to keep us separated. They call it diversion and equity and all this other stuff. Diversity and equity and all this other stuff. But they're pushing it because they know it's actually going to make us further apart. Soviet defector Yuri Bezmenov warned us that the commies had a 4-part plan to take over the U.S. without firing a shot. First, you got demoralization. Then you got destabilization, you got crisis, and then you got normalization. The last of which means establishing communism as the new normal. But they got to bring the system down first. The left has been pushing DEI in schools and many corporations around the world for years. The so-called DEI experts, or useful idiots, in our businesses have infiltrated many of our largest corporations. They believe they are helping minorities advance in society and business, a virtue. But in reality, they are helping the communists advance their goals of world domination. Well, let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.